Hi, Misha here. This is going to be just a quick little update video. Well, quick for me at any rate. And a story. In the past, I've shown you this model. This is a 1/144 scale diecast from Air Force One of a B-29 Stratofortress. One of the silver plates from World War II. The atomic bombers. Of course, the B-29 would continue to serve throughout the 50s. And I've also shown you this before. This is a British Vickers Valiant, one of the three members of the V Bomber Force, the first one actually to join. The most conventional in a way. It's also a 1/144 scale. This one from Corgi. And with that context, I wanted to show you this. This is the B-52 Stratofortress. This is specifically a B-52F. This is also from Corgi, and this is also 1/44 scale. In the past, I did a video about the history of the B-52, or the buff, big, ugly fucker. In that, though, I used a 1/200 scale diecast model from Herpa. But I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't really that happy with it. It was my first Herpa, and frankly, that was all I was gonna do. For the money, I thought it was really silly that they did them landing gear down only, and 1/200 scale is just a little small for me. It was still an impressive model, even at that, but I like Corgi better as a brand. And in 1/44, this is quite impressive and does the Stratofortress more justice. It is 13.5 inches long and 15.5 inches wide. And it weighs over a kilogram, over 2.5 pounds in metal. And I got this kind of an interesting way. So I brought these out just to compare, just for comparison. The B-29 was the most expensive project of the Second World War in America and was an extremely advanced bomber for its day. It was about 99 feet long, had a wingspan of over 140 feet, a max speed of nearly 360 miles per hour. It could get up to about 32,000 feet, and it could carry a bomb payload of anywhere between 12 and 20,000 pounds, depending on basically range and altitude. And these typically had a crew of 11, although some like this would lose some crew members because they would remove turrets for the atomic bomber ones. And these, of course, would serve as America's first bombers, but would be piston engine. They would also serve in the UK. Now, the UK would establish the V Bomber Force. The Valiant was the first one to fly in 1951. It would be joined by the Avro Vulcan and later the Victor. The Vulcan and the Victor were more advanced designs. The Valiant was a bit of a conventional design because they wanted to get something capable of transporting a nuclear weapon for strategic defense against the Soviet Russia. It was 108 feet long, had a wingspan of 114 feet. Max speed was a little under 570 miles per hour. Max altitude of about 50,000 feet, with later versions getting up to about 54,000 feet. And it could carry about 22,000 pounds in conventional weapons, and had a crew of 5. It doesn't have any turrets or guns. Speed and altitude were its defense. Well, in America, this dates back, the Boeing here, to right after World War II, although it took quite a long while for the design to be finalized. Heck, even originally, they were wanting to do a turboprop, not Boeing, but the Air Force, but Boeing insisted on it being a jet. Anyway, it would first fly in April of 1952, and the first B-52Bs would enter into service in February of 1955. The B-52A, while it was a production model, was used for testing and evaluation. They didn't make that many. The C would have further improvements. The D would be a dedicated long-range bomber. The E would have new electronics and avionics. I'm just kind of running through them really quick. And the F here would have upgraded, more powerful engines with water injection. It would have a crew of 6. It has 4 jet engines on each wing. It is 159 feet long, 185 feet wide. It is huge, hence the name. It can carry a massive 70,000 pound bomb load. It's capable of 650 miles per hour, so still subsonic, but getting close. I mean, it's pretty fast. The only place where maybe the British bombers excelled over it, this had a max altitude of about 50,000 feet. Originally, these were designed to carry nuclear weapons, but were quickly outfitted when Vietnam started to carry conventional. Originally, the 52F would be outfitted to carry 24 750-pound bombs. Later versions, like the fat belly or the big belly 52D, would carry even more. For defense, it has kind of a bit of a throwback. There is a tail gunner. Later versions, like the G, he would operate his rear turret remotely from the cabin, but in the older versions, he would be way in the back. And he would have 4 50 caliber Browning M3 machine guns with 600 rounds each. So a total of 2,400 rounds. But that would be the only turret, just to kind of protect the 6. The 52F would be the first one to see combat ever for a B-52 in 1965 over Vietnam. That summer, Operation Arclight. These would be used to bomb suspected kind of enclaves of North Vietnamese sympathizers, Viet Cong, in South Vietnam. Unfortunately, on their first mission, 2 of them out of 30 were lost when they had a mid-air collision when they were attempting an aerial refueling. 27 out of the 30 would go on to fulfill their bombing mission. And they would continue to be used in Vietnam until 1966, when the 52Ds with the larger payload would replace them. The 52Fs would be taken back stateside and again used by the Strategic Air Command for nuclear deterrence, things like Operation Chrome Dome. And the 52F would continue to fly on a major role until 1973-4, and the last 24 or so would be retired out in 78. 89 of this variant were built, and this was actually the last B-52 variant to be built by Boeing at both Seattle and Wichita. After that, all of them would be built, all of the G's and the H's, at the Wichita factory only. And of course, they would build 744 B-52s in total. And actually, the B-52H is still not only flying, but in active military service to this day, with over 70 either in active service or in reserve. But all earlier versions, including the 52Gs, are also long retired. It is certainly an iconic aircraft. Sorry I'm not rotating this one around. So, Corgi made this model 15 years ago. It has gear up or down. It does have a moving turret in the back with the machine guns. Has an all-metal stand. And just about the only plastic on it are the engines and a few details. But it's a serious machine. So how did I get this one? Well, nothing surprising there. I gambled on eBay. In fact, the first thing I bought a couple of things on eBay over the years, but this is the first diecast model like this I bought on there. I was always really, really reluctant. But this one popped up. Most people were asking close to $200. Seller was asking $125 in basically new condition and box. His shipping was real fair. A lot of people were asking crazy shipping rates because of the weight and size. So I bought it, and I paid. And to the seller's credit, when he said he went to inspect it before shipping, and he noticed that one of the engines had broke off in the box. This doesn't surprise me. This was a known issue with the Corgi B-52s. Heck, even my Herpa, when it came in straight from a diecast mart, it had an engine loose. Because it's just how they attach. The engines kind of clip onto the wings, and they get jostled loose. It happens. So he offered a full refund. Or he said if I still wanted it, $25. So, I took it. And I'm in kind of the middle of repairing it. Here's our engines. And here's the one I'm fixing. So I don't mind a little repair work if it means I get a model like this for what it's essentially worth in scrap metal. Because with the stand and everything, yep. Yeah, I thought that was real honest of him. And again, everything else was in the box, the gear in the down position, all all 6 doors for the gear in the up position. And these things have a crazy number of wheels, including the ones on the wings. Has the fuel tanks on the wings. They didn't go to the wet wing until the G version, so this would still have the fuel tanks. But mostly, I just wanted one in a scale that matched my other bombers. The 1-200 was just really bugging me. And this, I just like Corgi. I mean, I can't imagine this in a 172, because it would effectively be 4 times this, because you'd double the length and double the width as well. So I think 144 is about the only practical scale for a B-52. Even B-29s, really, I haven't found die-cast ones in 172, because, yeah, even in 144, this is a very substantial model. So yeah, just thought I'd put them together. Tell you a little story, because I was best pleased. Whole thing worked out just fine. Again, I've got a video on the V-Bomber Force if you're interested in that. I've got more of a history video. And, of course, I've got a few videos on the B-29 as well. Alrighty, guys. I'll let you go for now. Just wanted to tell you that story to, let you know that not everyone out on the internet's, frankly, a shithead. That there are people that are honest sellers and trying to make an honest buck. Actually, I ended up getting a couple other models from the same sellers, so I'll leave those as a surprise till next time, though. This is Misha, and I'll catch you very soon.